Welcome to Health Crusaders. I'm Bob Priest, and if you're here, I know you're looking for answers, just like I was. I thought I was doing everything right, but then, out of nowhere, I had a stroke. One moment I was fine, the next, my world was turned upside down. That moment changed everything. Traditional medicine helped me survive, but I didn't want to just survive. I wanted to thrive. That's when I discovered spiritual, holistic, alternative, and functional health. Redox signaling, natural healing, biofeedback, energy work, and much more. When I applied these principles, my recovery took off. My energy came back, my body responded, and I realized healing isn't just about medication. It's about mind, body, and spirit. That's why I started Health Crusaders, to share my journey and bring you real experts, practitioners, and stories of transformation. If you're ready to take control of your health and explore new possibilities, you're in the right place. Let's get started. Welcome back to Health Crusaders, the show where we smash limits, spark healing, and geek out on really cool moves of the human body towards vitality. I'm Bob Priest, stroke survivor turned redox rebel, and your guide on this quest for radical well-being. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on a topic every clinician needs to hear about, but yet few master, and that's ethical, patient-centered digital marketing. My guest today is Andrew Newland. He's an author of Digital Marketing and SEO for Functional Medicine Practices and CEO of Functional Medicine Marketing. Since 2020, he's been filling integrative and functional clinics with patients hungry for root cause answers. Eric, welcome to Health Crusaders, and thank you so much for being part of our show today.
Oh, Bob, thanks so much for having me. I'm excited.
Great. Listen, let's get right into this. You shared with me that a functional medicine doctor rescued your health after a rough patch in your 30s and the heartbreak of losing your mom to dementia. So what I'd like you to do is to paint that moment for us. How did personal crisis ignite your mission to help clinics win online?
Oh, that's a great question. So my wife and I got married right out of college. So college sweetheart. I'd love to tell that story at some point. Growing up as a homeschool boy, no idea how to talk to girls. So I basically stalked her at college for 2 years. Anyway, that's a great story for another time. So right out of college, we got married. We had kids really young. We had 4 kids, just fantastic. 3 boys, 1 girl, all very young. So we had them young and we had them really close together. So at one point we had 4 kids and our oldest was 4. So 4 and under. I mean, that's a lot of kids. Diapers flying everywhere and juice flying everywhere. We were also entrepreneurs at the time. We started a landscaping business here in Colorado Springs, focused on hardscaping. So we didn't do any mowing. We built yards. So I had the crew. I had some guys. Strangely enough, I hired a lot of homeschool guys who were great. Kind of throughout that journey, just with the stress of owning a business, seasonal business, which if you're out there with a seasonal business, how hard that can be with a lot of little kids. We were young, in our young 20s, and just, looking back and realizing the amount of cortisol we had gushing through our veins every day. to maintain, one, to put food on the table, and two, to really create, because we had a vision of just doing parenting very differently and being very involved and, learning. Our parents did great, but we wanted to take it the next step and kind of maybe change some things that, our parents did that we wanted to do, as we all do when we and just, the toll that it took on us was pretty fast. And so coming into our late 20s, early 30s, I was gaining weight. You get all the symptoms, right?
Yep.
And you kind of think, well, it's just old age. It's just kind of normal. 30, I'd love to be 30 again, not old age, but at that point you think you're old. So gaining weight, all of a sudden I was getting allergies. I never had allergies before. My asthma that I grew up with, which was gone, came back full force at athlete's foot. I was popping Tums and ibuprofen every day, constantly, just to get through.
My
Now,
goodness.
yeah. So, we didn't, no diagnosis of any kind of major disease or autoimmune or anything, but a huge wake up call when you start, all of a sudden you wake up, right? And you're like, I don't feel good at all. I'm not like, I should feel better than this. And if I'm going to continue this path, it's only going to get worse. And my vision always was I wanted to have kids young. We both did, so that we could really have a lot of energy, to keep up. And when they get in the teen years, just being able to progress. Hopefully, we don't have grandkids yet, hoping that we got a lot of energy for that. And just kind of that wake up call for our own health that something's wrong. The regular system, hey, everything's normal, you're good. It's just part of the age you're in. And thankfully, with the help of a functional medicine practitioner, we were able to really get educated and go, this is not normal. But it may be normal, but it's not good, right?
Right. Right.
Normal because so many people go through it. And my wife, obviously, she's starting to hit some of those perimenopause time periods with all of the symptoms that go along with that. And so just kind of that, thankfully, I look back very grateful that we got desperate early before we had any major, diagnoses. And so completely turned our lives around, health, like nutrition, exercise, managing that stress better. And just able to, for my own personal journey, I was able to, I think I lost 20 pounds in the first 6 weeks or something. And all of a sudden my allergies are gone, my headaches are gone, my energy is coming back. And that's the beauty of doing that when you're in your early 30s, right? Things kind of trigger pretty fast. Versus if I had done that, waited until I was in my 70s or 80s, that's a lot bigger hill to climb. So very thankful for that, and just a huge turnaround. And then my mom actually, so it started at the time we didn't have all of our 4 kids, but we rented a house outside of town, out in the country, and I always wanted a horse, and so I had a horse. And my mom grew up with a horse, and so she would come out and she would ride the horse. Well, one time she fell off the horse, which is, that's common, it happens. Well, come to find out, she broke her pelvis. And that started a downward slide of pain medicine and a lot of different things, obviously. So come to find out years later, okay, now she got stomach cancer. She went through radiation, was able to beat stomach cancer, but there was still this steady decline. We started noticing that mental decline, and she was diagnosed with dementia. And a year and a half ago, she passed away from dementia.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, thank you. And even, since then, my brother-in-law and my brother had cancer. And so all of this, at the time, so all of this is just culminating. And I'm thinking there's a better way. I know it because I've experienced it. And I definitely want to avoid any possibility of dementia. So diving into the world of, some more biohacking, some more neurotherapy and healing and strengthening and feeding my brain, and just that passion. And so my wife and I were like, you know what, functional medicine, this is it. This is, there's so much out there and so much need, but we're not practitioners. And so at the time, so we had that landscaping business, and then we went and we had started just kind of a general marketing agency, because that was always my favorite part about the landscaping business, was doing the marketing. We did our own marketing. And so we had a marketing agency going really well. We learned a lot, especially about SEO. And we started thinking, you know what? We would love to change, to support and help healthcare in our communities and really change how that works. But we're not practitioners. But what do we know? We know marketing. We know digital marketing. And so diving into the world, and so that's our mission. Our mission is to help functional and integrative practices help more people. It's very simple. We want to help them help more people by getting their online marketing right.
Wow, that is a story in itself, and it's interesting. Number one, I want to commend you on taking charge of how you want to raise your family. A lot of times, I'm a former educator, so a lot of times I see parents farm their kids out,
Yep.
and they're not as active in their kids' life because of just life. You know, life gets in the way, and or their kids are so busy being busy that
Right.
they don't have any cohesiveness.
Yeah, true.
So I commend you and your wife on that and
Thank you.
the way you've been raising, and that sounds so cool. And your kids probably get experiences and have had experiences that they never would have gotten in a public education setting.
Oh, for sure. Yep. Yep.
Um, so question, before we really dig into your digital marketing,
Yeah,
why did you search out regular Western medicine? Now, functional medicine is a little bit of both,
sure.
but why did you kind of hone in on functional medicine as your place to go for your own personal needs? Just to give our audience a little bit more reasons why.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's a great question. And as you asked that, I'm thinking about my mom. So my mom graduated with a degree in nutrition. She was a dietitian. My dad was celiac all my growing up. So a funny story, I remember going to a friend's house and the dad ate pizza. And my jaw just dropped. I had never seen a dad eat pizza. My assumption was all dads were very gluten free, and at the time there was no gluten free pizza, right? And my dad was eating rice cakes, and sometimes he would put some tomato sauce, cheese, and maybe a pepperoni on his rice cake. And so that was back before being gluten free was cool. And so so my mom dietitian, my dad very had to be very health conscious because he still is celiac. My dad's still living, and so they were always. My mom was always. She's crazy. She was always open to alternative methods for health. Another story. I remember she was going to make her own soap. As homeschool moms do, right? They make their own soap. But my mom made lye soap in an aluminum 9 by 13 pan. And if you know the chemistry, you put lye into aluminum, and it is an instantaneous toxic smoke hazard of death. and and I mean, and she said, oh, and we rushed it out, rushed it outside. And then my dad, because of his celiac, he always had a propensity to try and research a lot of, we didn't know the term at the time, but very functional medicine methods. That was during the juicing era. If you remember, juicing was huge. My dad drank so much carrot juice that his skin turned orange. Everybody's heard the tale, but it absolutely happened to my dad. It's like, wow, I got a decent tan. Just imagine if this was orange. That's kind of what he had going on. So I think, and my wife had similar. Her mom was very very health conscious in kind of the same pattern. So once it was very natural for us. Obviously, you kind of rebel out of you get your own family. We're going to do things differently, and unfortunately, the difference was we're eating a lot of pizza and we're going fast food and but once we started really feeling those things, instead of trying the traditional route, we thought, let's try what we know best from our parents. Let's kind of start doing some research. And so that brought us into functional medicine that way. Yeah,
That's really it's really good that you used that time, your experience from your own home life as your mom and dad, but then because of that, you were able to build on top of it
definitely.
and find your own direction for you and your wife and your family. And you mentioned earlier the cortisol,
Yeah.
and I don't know that people really understand that, but when we're stressed, when we're under constant bombardment like that, that is off the Richter scale.
Off the
And
Richter.
that's when your weight gain happens and your stress level gets crazy. And it's good that you found it in your early 30s and were able to try
Right.
to change that. Because I bet during that time you were popping weight on and didn't even realize it
Oh,
because you're just so
absolutely.
busy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And
Yeah,
and not the good kind of weight.
right.
Because since then I got down, I lost a lot of fat, but then, now I'm able to put on a decent amount of muscle. So the weight isn't as different as it used to be,
Hmm.
but the composition of the weight
Yeah.
is much better where it's lean muscle instead of fat.
And I'm sure your body changed as far as the
Oh my
way your
goodness.
body looked.
Oh, and felt,
Oh yeah.
I feel I feel better than I've ever felt.
Well, you've got a bunch of energy, I'm telling you.
Yeah. I'm
Our audience is going to enjoy this.
I'm trying to hold it back because I can get really
Let's not hold back, Andrew. You can
okay.
be all who you want to be on here, okay?
Okay. Well, don't say I didn't warn you.
Okay, that's fine.
That's fair.
Let's go back into the direction that you've now moved into, and I would assume that most clinicians in clinic areas see digital marketing as a black hole that devours cash and time.
Yep.
So, from maybe a 30,000-foot view, what are the top three mistakes functional practices make, and how do you flip those into opportunity?
Oh, that's a great question. You know what? Absolutely the biggest thing, and this is a perfect correlation, is practitioners, business owners, they don't see their marketing and their whole business. They don't see their business holistic like they see their health, right? So
Yep.
they're looking for the magic pill.
Oh yeah.
They're looking for the instant fix. They would never, talking to a patient, they would never treat their patient or even their own health like they treat their marketing, where they're following the next gimmick and the next thing and the next get rich quick and seven-figure docs that, and all of these. You can work 5 hours a day or a week and make $3 trillion. It's out there and it's appealing because they're stressed out. And one of the things that I do is I talk about getting to the root cause of their marketing issues. And that's that big concept of we expect marketing to work instantly like a faucet. If I put $10 in there, I should get $20 back. And instead, I do a lot of education to help them understand, hey, you know what? Your website and your marketing, we need to treat that like you would treat a patient. You would never say, it's only been 2 weeks. Of course, you haven't lost the 40 pounds that you packed on over the last 40 years. You would never expect, and they know because patients do that all the time. Why haven't I lost all this weight yet? It took you 40 years to put on that weight, right? Or
Exactly.
to come up with that, to have that problem. So we got to give it time. We got to do the right things consistently over time. I call it tortoise marketing and the tortoise and the hare, right? So
Yep.
the hare never wins. The tortoise always wins, but every time it looks like the hare is going to win, but it never does. So I do a lot of education, a lot of expectation setting up. So, and then the second thing is, and this one's a little bit of a harder pill to swallow, and it sounds self-serving coming from me. So I totally get that. So we'll just put that out there. But they don't spend enough on their marketing. They don't budget enough on their marketing, especially somebody that's just starting out. They have this mindset of if I build it, they will come, right? From the old Field of Dreams movie. If
Yeah.
you build it, they will come. And we have this concept. I can help people. I know exactly the labs to do. Man, I'm a wizard at coming up and being a detective on people's health. And I spent $20,000 on a website. So that should be everything I need, and people will come flocking to me. I talked to somebody just a little bit ago today, and they have an excellent model, and it's really intriguing. The two of them have combined forces. One of them is a traditional breast cancer doctor, and the other one is a naturopath. And the doctor had this vision of I want to give them more. I want to give my patients more than just the traditional, here, take this. It may or may not work, whatever. And if you do get healed, you're going to feel like crap the rest of your life. Right. So she knew there was something. So she combined, oh, it's such a beautiful model. But she thought, because I'm doing this, the people are just going to flock. And it doesn't work. It takes marketing budget. There's a statistic, and this is just a small business statistic in the US. So not just functional medicine, but all small businesses. You got to plan for 12 to 18% of your goal gross revenue to go to marketing. 12 to 18% of your goal gross revenue. So, okay, my goal is to get to $1 million this year. 12 to 18% of that needs to go to marketing. And what I have found, that functional medicine practitioners are excellent at helping patients and just not great business people. And that percentage, I'll be like, sometimes it'll be like pulling teeth to get 2% of their goal gross revenue to go to marketing. So those are kind of the two, it's not three, but those are two big things where they expect it to work instantly. And so when it doesn't, they start over. The second thing is they don't budget. They don't plan enough for their marketing. So they don't give it enough time, they don't do the right things, and they don't budget enough to get there.
Wow. So, I've gotten involved in digital marketing myself for what I do.
Yeah.
And I probably need to talk to you off camera a little bit more about it. But, one thing that I've heard this, and I believe this, is that Google rewards the helpful.
Ooh, that's a great quote.
And so for you listeners, put that down as a nugget. Google rewards the helpful. Could
Yeah.
you expand on what I'm trying to say there?
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, it perfectly leads into the conversation about AI. So, everybody's out there and we're thinking, we'll just say Chat GPT, even though there's a lot of AIs, right? So Chat GPT, with the influx of Chat GPT, we got all these people that now think, okay, I'm going to write tons of blogs for my website. That's going to be my SEO, and I'm going to stand out. I'm going to get out there. I'm going to get up there. And Google's going to recognize me as helpful. The problem is, one, ChatGPT is just looking at all of the information here and putting a conglomeration of this content together. Second, there's a ton of new content. I mean, just piles of new content being generated. Google's goal has always been to put the most beneficial and the most helpful content out there. So with the influx of AI, good content, for example, is more cream rising to the top. So a little tidbit for you: if you are going to do blogs and content for your website, you absolutely should, which is an excellent conversation about SEO, which is search engine optimization, getting on the first page of Google, right? One of the ways to do that is content. So if you're going to write content, let's say it this way: when you write content, because you absolutely should, you need to focus on what makes your experience different and more helpful. So does that mean you can't use ChatGPT? Not at all. ChatGPT is an excellent tool, and it's only as good as the person using it. So start with it to get some bones out there. Another little kind of data fact for you is you want at least 900, say 1,000 words on each page of your site and each blog that you write. That's a lot. Like, that's a lot of content in this day and age where we think, okay, nobody's reading that, so I'm going to pare this way down. Don't forget that Google is a beast, and we got to feed the beast with content.
Yeah.
So start with ChatGPT, but then go in there and rewrite that and add your own experience. As a functional integrative practitioner, you have your own nuance of doing things. Make sure that's communicated. Talk about your experience, even if you don't use a particular patient's name. But that experience, just like you said, Google highlights the helpful. What was the exact quote? Google.
I said Google rewards the helpful.
Rewards the helpful. Yeah. That's going to be the cream that rises to the top of all of this just kind of generic AI content. So you're absolutely right. Google always rewards the helpful. Another part of that is having a website that works really well. Google knows that people's attention span is almost non-existent.
All right.
If you're watching a video, you can see I got goldfish here. This is my reminder, because goldfish have an attention span of 9 seconds. I have no idea how they figured that out, but we'll go with it. Okay. So goldfish have an attention span of 9 seconds. I used to say people have the same attention span. It's about 9 seconds. It's so much worse. So bad now, especially if they come to your website on their phone. Because if they're on their phone, they're in scroll mode, right?
Oh, yeah.
Just swipe and swipe and swipe and swipe. Now, if they're doing some due diligence and they're searching diligently, a lot of times they'll be on a laptop or a desktop. And so they're more likely to kind of dive in and spend more time. But the majority of people are going to find you as the practitioner on their phones. Okay. So if you're just basic stuff, like if your website doesn't look good on a phone, if it doesn't load fast on a phone, and we're talking 3 seconds, you have almost no time to catch people's attention. And so this is going to be our second nugget of remembrance. If they forget everything, remember that Google rewards the helpful. And this second thing is clarity before cleverness.
That's good. That's good.
Clarity before cleverness. I see it time and time again where these practitioners up at the top of their website, they've got kind of this pithy saying about live to thrive, or, there's a new way to finally achieve your whatever. Okay, that's great. The problem is people are going to your website and they're asking, what do you do? And if they don't see it almost instantly, what are they going to do? They'll go find another website.
Yeah.
Because how many websites are out there? A trillion or whatever.
Your front page has to catch them within 3 seconds or they're gone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
You hit on an area that I spent a lot of time on, and I think I've become not a master on ChatGPT, but I've started learning to talk to it.
Great.
And the more that you can have a conversation like you and I are having with ChatGPT, the better it's going to respond to what you ask, number one. And number two is you got to know what to ask it.
Yeah.
You have to know you just can't say, hey, write this blah, blah, blah for me, and it's going to be any good, because they don't know, it doesn't know you. It doesn't have anything to take and build on you. So over months and months and months of me using it and putting things in about my business and my podcast and all that, I think I get some pretty decent content that comes out.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and you're absolutely right. And like I said, it's a tool. In the marketing world, there's always conversations now about, are we going to lose our jobs to ChatGPT?
Yeah.
We're going to lose our jobs to AI. No. Well, unless you don't learn it.
Right.
Right. I remember the story, and I'm going to totally butcher it, so I apologize. But maybe it was Henry Ford, maybe it wasn't. But there, and you probably know this story where the whole production line, the machine went down, and they had to call the guy that knew it.
Yeah.
And he goes in and he tweaks one little screw, right? Boom, the whole thing's going. And then he gives him a bill for, I don't remember what it was, $20,000. I don't remember the number.
It was an astronomical amount.
It was especially back then. And he goes, no, it took you 3 seconds to turn that screw. And so didn't he rewrite the bill and said, okay, there's $5 for turning the screw, and the rest $20,000 for knowing which screw to turn.
Exactly.
And you think about it, and the tool that he used, maybe a screwdriver, maybe a wrench, whatever it was, super simple. How many of us have a wrench at home? Well, hopefully all of us, right? Even if it's on the shelf, so you have one. It's like ChatGPT. Everybody's got access to ChatGPT, but we got to know which screw to turn, which bolt to tweak just a little bit. And, we got to know how to use the tool. So there's so much, it's kind of back to that flipping it into fear. We're turning that into opportunity.
So it's all about your mindset.
It's all about the mindset. And that goes for, that goes for running your business, whether you've got a practice, whether you've got a marketing agency or a bakery, whatever it is, all of those things kind of come into play.
That's great information. So your mantra is sustainable patient-generated systems. So break down your core SEO framework in plain English. If I were a clinic owner, I only have maybe 5 hours a month where I should, that I could put extra. Where should they invest that? Where should I invest that?
Yeah, and you're absolutely right because you know a little bit ago we talked about budgeting and you've got to budget enough for your marketing. You know, a lot of these startup practices, they don't have that budget. And so am I saying they shouldn't start their practice? No, they should just know instead of money going to that percentage, I'm going to have to put some elbow grease time into it.
Yeah.
That cost has to come from somewhere. So you're absolutely right. Like, okay, I don't have any money. I've started the business. I've got to make, you know, I'm desperate to help my community. So what are the things that I can do to actually move the needle? So one, understanding, okay, you've got to do it yourself. You can't just, again, you can't just build it and wait for people. So here's some basics that I would make sure that everybody's doing. And really these things, no matter the size of practice, I think the owner should continue to do some of these things just to stay in touch. And obviously that
Absolutely.
would, you know, that would change to, you know, if you've had a business, you know, a practice for 10 years, you know, more of your time is going to be spent looking at analytics than actually pushing buttons. So we'll kind of go back to more of the button pushing. So first of all, I'm a digital marketer, but I always tell practices, don't put all your eggs into the digital marketing basket. Get out in the community.
Hmm.
One of the core values of functional medicine is you take time with your patients, right? So we've got traditional medicine over here where they'll take 3 minutes and then don't know who this is and they don't really care and they just, you know, here's your
Yep.
next pill, try this pill. I mean, one of the cores, one of the reason most practitioners started their own practice was so they could actually take the time, you know, 60-minute,
Hmm.
90-minute kind of historical digging into their life story and their health story. So it's kind of that same kind of the same thing, getting out in the community and having conversations, especially when you're starting up. You need to get out there. You could go to the chamber, you could, you know, Better Business Bureau, you could get a table at, you know, a local race, you know, a half marathon, get you a table. Anything that you can do to have conversations. You could work in conjunction with a local gym and do some kind of a talk on health and nutrition.
Yep.
You know, those are great ways. You want to just kind of think, okay, how can I have conversations in the community? And there are conversations you can have online. Facebook groups are excellent.
Hmm.
You know, find some mom groups. You know, they're always looking for help with my kid's got eczema. My kid's you know, it's not growing as fast as he should be. All those things. So one, don't put all your eggs in the digital marketing basket. Two, okay, now we need to think about our marketing, and you want to have a multi-channel approach to your marketing. There isn't one platform that's going to solve all your problems. It's again, it's kind of like our health. You can't just eat really well and never exercise.
True.
You can't out exercise a bad diet, right? So everything kind of works together. Same goes for marketing. So but I will say there are 1,000 different pieces that could be used, and you don't need all of them. So I'm going to tell you kind of the key pieces to the marketing puzzle, platforms, strategies that are actually moving the needle for functional medicine and integrated practices around the country. Okay, so one is obviously you have to have a great website, a functioning website. Does it matter what it's built on? Yes and no. It's better to have the website than to overanalyze which platform's the best. If you do have the opportunity, I highly recommend WordPress with a builder called Elementor. The benefits of those are you're going to be able to edit on the front end like you would a Wix or a Squarespace site, but there's more opportunity for integration, especially with SEO on WordPress with Elementor than there is on Wix and Squarespace. So because they've kind of restricted it to keep it user-friendly. But in the end, having a great, clear website. Two, SEO. We talked about that a little bit. SEO is getting in front of people that are organically searching on Google. There, and very quickly, some SEO basics. There's 3 parts to good SEO: technical SEO, content, and then local SEO. So technical is in making sure the website functions really well. You can go to a free tool that Google has called PageSpeed Insights. Just Google PageSpeed Insights. That's a Google tool. You can put your web address in there and just click Analyze. And in a couple minutes, it's going to tell you just a little bit from Google's perspective, how it's performing. Okay. This is a great way to check and see how fast it's loading on people's phones. And then at that point, you may need to hire a web developer to optimize and speed it up, or you can Google it, right? Or ChatGPT it and learn how to do it yourself. It's great. Okay, so technical SEO. There's also a lot of things. There's H1s and H2s and meta descriptions and schema markup. Again, a great way to do that is, again, go to ChatGPT and say, hey, what are 5 basic technical SEO things I can do on my Wix website? You know, right? It's get all the parameters and all the things. And then you can say, okay, I don't know how to do that. How do I do each of those things? And it'll kind of walk you through it. Or obviously, you can hire somebody that knows how to do those things. So technical SEO, that's a little bit harder to grasp because it's in the code. It's kind of back end stuff. But that's not you need those things, but that's not the huge needle mover. The big thing is that content we talked about. So SEO content, make sure it's 1,000 words just to be safe, 1,000 words or more, and then repeat your keyword about 7 times. Make it natural. You don't want to stuff it. We can't do that anymore. You remember back in the early 2000s or the 90s, you could just have this monster of shoved in keyword stuff list at the bottom. And you would make it the same color as the background so people couldn't see it. And you'll get penalized really fast. Do that now. So don't do that. Gone are those days. Now are the days of being helpful and just focus on helping. So technical content and local, a couple things. Okay. I'm getting back to your question. Sorry, I'm in the weeds. I'm getting back to your question about, okay, I've got 5 hours a month. What am I going to do? You're going to write content for your website utilizing ChatGPT, but make sure it's really beneficial and it speaks to your experience. So see it as a 50%, and then you write the other 50%. Get that on your website. Learn how to make sure it's indexed so that Google can see it. Okay. Next, on your Google listing, this is where you're going to do a few things, but these are pretty quick. You want to respond to all your reviews, even bad ones. Getting bad reviews and responding is good for your SEO. Okay. There's some principles. You never get in an argument with a bad review. Just be open, be available, say thank you. We always want to be as good as we can. Please contact us directly so we can take care of this. There's going to be crazy people, so don't freak out about bad reviews. So respond to all your reviews, ask and answer your own questions on your Google review or your Google listing. And then you can do posts, just like a Facebook post, on your Google listing. They call them updates. If you'll see the button, you say add update. And you're going to write just a simple, you don't have to dance. You don't have to be super creative and TikTok-y, right? You're just going to write about a service that you offer or condition that you treat, link it back to the website. Okay. So you want to do 4 of those a month. You can do them all at once, or you can do them once a week. Okay. I would say we're at about 2.5, 3 hours for the month. We'll just say we're at about that. Now let's talk about social media. Okay. Everybody sees social media as the magic pill, and it is anything but the magic pill to your marketing. I prefer to see it more as a necessary evil. Okay. But let me specify 2 things about social media. There's organic posting, and then there's ads that you're paying for. Okay. So organic it's free. I can post as much as I want. I can do a video. I can do a reel. I can do a graphic, Facebook and Instagram. Great. That's organic. And then you've got paid ads over here where Facebook and Instagram is actually pushing your content in front of people. So let's talk about the organic piece first. It's really hard to get in front of new people by just posting on Facebook and Instagram. People spend tons of time, but Facebook doesn't care about businesses unless you're giving them money. I'll give you a statistic. Here you go. This will put it in perspective. You'll be lucky if you post organically on Facebook, you'll be lucky if 2.5% of your followers see that post. Okay, 2.5% of your followers see that post. It's barely better on Instagram. It's like 4.7 or something like that. So let's say 2.5 and 5. You'll be lucky if 5% of your followers on Instagram see a post. Okay, now the mind-blowing thing about that statement is those are people that already follow you. those are not new people. The percentage of new people that are going to see that post is next to nil. We can't even track it. Now, if you get grandma and your uncle and they all share a post and you might get some more reach, but are those going to be your ideal new patient? Probably not. They're going to be friends of friends of friends, right?
Right.
So keep that in mind. You can post on Facebook and Instagram until you're blue in the face, and you may never get a new patient because Meta, Facebook, Instagram's not on your side. You're just not seeing, it's not showing it to people.
Right.
So back to the necessary evil. You need posts because, okay, let's think about the normal user journey. Somebody Googles, they find the functional medicine, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. They go, they pick one of the top listings, either the Google listing or a website. They go to the website, they look around for a few seconds. Oftentimes they'll then go where? They'll go check out the Facebook page. So as a support to your website, you still need high quality on brand educational posting. Don't be salesy, give them value, okay? Because they're getting there indirectly. So it's a support to the whole user process. Mm-hmm. So I hear a lot of times, we tried social media and we never got any new patients. Well, I mean, it probably helped you get some patients, but it directly, no, it didn't get you any patients. So keep in mind, these are all pieces to the puzzle. They all have their own purpose and their own, part of the plan. So, okay, back to, okay, what am I doing? I got 5 hours. Take some time and make some short videos for your social media. Statistically, videos are going to get a little more engagement. They're going to build a little bit more trust as part of the whole flow. And then over here, you got boosts and ad campaigns. If you want to reach new people, that is a quick and easy way to do that. I recommend if you're doing, say you do 4 videos a month, you know what? Put a little money behind those and boost those. Just say $1 a day. So that's going to be what, 30, so 100, 120 bucks, 120 bucks in ad spend just to get in front of some new people and do that consistently. Remember, we're riding the tortoise. We're not following the hare. Okay. Yeah. So there we go. There's some practical things you can do every day. And then obviously over here, we've got Google ads, which are really potent. But they take a little more technical knowledge on how to get those to optimize.
Absolutely. So, man, that's a lot of information. So that's one of those, one of those pause and return and go back. But it's good information. And for people out there that are practitioners that don't have a lot of time, this is a real good reason to give Andrew a phone call. Check him out, because that is everything he said. I understand it, but I would like to have somebody like him in my court that could help me really implement it. So yeah. You just launched the Master Marketing Manager program and a specialized hosting platform.
Yep.
What pain points were you solving, and how can a busy clinic decide whether to DIY, hire out, or train up?
Yeah, absolutely. So our M3 program, I call it Master Marketing Manager, is perfect for anybody that has to be in charge of or run their own marketing. So this is good for a solo practitioner that's just getting started. We're going to teach you kind of going in depth. Everything I kind of talked about, we're going to kind of walk you through how to do those things. We've got videos, we've got PDFs, you get a copy of my book, which you can get a free copy of our book on my website if you're interested as well. Or it's also perfect for maybe you've got a clinic, there's a few providers, and marketing has fallen to the office manager. The office manager does not have a degree in marketing, and yet the marketing manager is feeling all this pressure. You're not posting enough on social media, or why isn't our marketing working? Okay, this is going to be perfect for that person. Instead of dumping all your pressure and all your problems on that person, you know what? Empower that person to know what good marketing is and how it works. And that's how our M3 program works perfectly. So those are kind of the pain points. Well, I see it as what marketing works and how does it work. That's the whole goal of that. We're always expanding that. I love, as you can tell, I love to talk and I love to be on video. So I'm always making more videos for our members there. And then the website hosting platform. So we've actually kind of rebranded it. So it's not just for functional medicine, but it is just for WordPress sites. And our goal with that is, one, to get great customer service. So if you need something, you know how hard it is to contact GoDaddy or wherever you're getting your hosting from. You kind of have to go through the all these different calls, and then you finally get somebody, and then 3 weeks later, maybe you get some help. Our goal is, we need, because marketing moves yesterday. It moves at the speed of light, right? And if your website's down, it's costing you. And so our goal was, we want to be able to provide hosting, one, that provides a lot of great customer service, and then two, it's built for SEO. We talked about going to page speed insights and checking how fast your site's loading. Our whole goal with the hosting is let's optimize the speed of these WordPress sites. And that's why it's just for WordPress, because we have a kind of a proprietary optimization, speed optimization that works just on WordPress sites.
Man, that's got to be music to every overworked practice owner's ears, wouldn't you say?
For sure.
So even when folks know their health matters, they know what their health matters are, they relapse to old habits. From your dual lens, patient and marketer, what really holds people back, and how can clinics craft messages that spark action?
That's great. I go back to the clarity over cleverness is first. A lot of times practitioners are so close to the forest, they don't see the trees. Is that how it goes? Something like that. And so they think they have to keep coming up with a more creative and a more clever, and it kind of gets way out here to the point where I've been on sites, and if I didn't know what they did, it would take some serious research to figure it out. So always be clear up front. Hey, we do functional medicine in Denver, Colorado, right? And then you go and you educate people, and you can get a little more clever that way. But again, you want the people that are searching for functional medicine near me, you got to catch them fast. The next thing is something that holds practitioners back is when marketing has slow times, because it just does. There's a natural ebb and flow, and I'll tell you. So in a normal, you get the most patients January, February, because you got New Year's resolutions, right? Tends to have a little bit of a dip near tax season because everybody's freaked out about money. And we get a little bit more of a kind of a rise in May, and then everybody's on vacation and they just want to eat like crap, during the summer, and so it tends to be slower in the summer. Not always, but tends to be slower in the summer. And then kids go back to school, and moms are, they put on a bunch of weight over the summer because they were drinking and not eating well, and so we see an influx in mid-August to about October, and then a huge drop during the holidays. Again, people don't want to think about what they're eating, and that's just normal. That's totally fine. Unless, a little side note, if you're doing holistic cancer care, that's kind of all in all the time. That's really hot right now because cancer's through the roof right now. Anyway, side note. So there's a natural ebb and flow, and the practices that do the best lean in during the slow times. They increase ad spend. They do more SEO. They think about, okay, what can we offer? What's going on in our culture? Even just the time of year, we got allergies. Let's lean into that. So the practices that do the best lean in during the slow times, and the practices that don't do well pull back and try to go find another marketing agency and fall victim to the magic pill, or they just go, you know what? We're not getting new patients. We're going to stop all of our marketing. Obviously, you're not going to get new patients if you stop all your marketing. I understand it, because cash flow as an entrepreneur is super stressful.
Yeah.
But just know, okay, the practices that make it the best have a long-term tortoise mindset and lean in during the slow times. and they come out the other side just exponentially better.
Man, Andrew, that's pure gold. And the pun is absolutely intended here. So
What
as
we
we
all
wrap
live.
up, where can listeners connect, snag your book, and or enroll in your Master Marketing Manager program?
Yeah, absolutely. So, in addition to Master the M3, we'll just say, and hosting, really our bread and butter is doing the actual marketing for practices. So we are a full service agency. So everything I talked about is included. Just a couple things about us: we never ask anybody to sign a contract. We just go month to month. Our goal with that is that nobody ever feels handcuffed to us, but it allows us to focus on building that working relationship. So we never do any contracts, just pay month to month. We are offering a pretty significant discount, and I'll hold this, as long as we can, especially if somebody mentions the show, where we're doing 50% off the first month of marketing at any level, whether it's a la carte, bundled packages. I also do a free SEO evaluation video for anybody that wants. I'll walk through your website and I'm going to look at technical content and local. That's a great way to even just get some insights on, okay, why aren't we ranking? And everything, best way to get in contact with us is on our website. So functionalmedmarketing.com, functionalmedmarketing.com. You can go through there. There's a lot of different ways to engage with us. You can email me directly. It's andrew@functionalmedmarketing.com. If you look on our website, you'll actually find my personal cell number, and you can text me anytime. Again, our goal is to be wide open and available to help.
Hey, it's all about value-based business, and you've said that all through this interview today. It's about caring, it's about value-based, it's about giving your client and also helping their patient find what they need to find, which is a good functional doctor and medicine practice, and for that medicine practice to find patients and give value in both ways. The links will be put in the show notes. Listen, Health Crusaders, if you've really today's chat lit a fire under your marketing, if you're listening to this as a practitioner or your wellness journey, screenshot this episode, tag at Health Crusaders Podcast, and drop the word move, and I'll send you my 5-minute movement reset. So until next time, keep moving, keep questioning, keep crusading for your best life. I'm Bob Priest, signing off.